Hey, what's up, beautiful souls? Happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's day is going well. It is hump day. It is halfway to the weekend for you weekend chasers and you people that seem to only want to live your life for 2 days a week when you're not at the job you hate, which, if that's the case, I pray that you find peace and I pray that you find happiness in whatever life brings your way. Today I wanted to talk about the path to enlightenment or nirvana or reaching enlightenment and the spiritual ego and the spiritual traps that many people fall into, at least in the digital world that I see. And what I speak of is that there's so many people that claim to have all these strict disciplines and their discipline is the only way, and there's so many concrete answers, and the spiritual ego gets involved when we have these super profound mystical experiences or divine experiences or whatever you want to label, experiences where the God realization moments where you realize that God is something so much greater than self, and self is created in the image of God, and you are not outside of God. You are not detached from God. You are all that God is, but obviously there is a greater power than just your individual soul. But when we have those divine experiences where we get in touch with God, we tend to allow that happening, and I'm just as guilty, especially in the beginning of my spiritual journey, when you start to get these understandings and you start to have these experiences, you want to share them out loud because they are so powerful and they are so profound. But what we have to keep in mind is they are profound to us. And while they are a joy to hear from others and really beautiful to listen to other people's experience, we've got to understand that just because there's something that happened a particular way for us, that that's not always going to resonate with somebody, and to make your truth a concrete truth for all is in my opinion a spiritual ego trap, and it gets a lot of people hemmed up, and it gets the ego back involved of competition, or I have this diet and I do yoga this X amount of hours and I'm a level whatever. And we start to fall into these traps of labeling ourselves and creating hierarchies of consciousness, really. And I get it. There are different varying stages of consciousness based on your own personal experience, but just doesn't make your truth more profound or more true than anybody else's. And it's just something to keep in mind. And if you find people getting to that when you're asking for guidance or seeking help in a certain area on this path, then really take it with a grain of salt and be mindful of where that person may be coming from, because your experience is going to be completely unique to you. And another thing I want to touch on, and I see a lot of in the spiritual community and the digital world, is it's kind of disheartening but understandable, and I think it's another spiritual ego trap is separating yourself from, and again, layers to consciousness, but feeling like you have to leave people that are struggling behind, that you need to separate yourself, that you need to cut them out of your life, that you need to find new friends or cut family members out. By all means, if your energy and your path is being weighed down by these people, then by all means create boundaries and protect your energy. But so often I see these free-spirited, high-vibe people separating themselves from human experience, and creating a hierarchy of like, I only hang out with high vibe people because, low vibe people I don't really care to hang out with them or have, irrelevant conversations. And I get it, but that's a trap that I fell into. And something that I realize is going along my path is how divine is it just leaving somebody that could use your light, leaving them behind? Is that really the God self? Is that really the God realization of, well, I vibrate higher than these other beings, so I need to just cut them out of my life? That sounds like ego to me. That sounds like spiritual ego. And if you love somebody unconditionally and they're going through difficult times, you stick by their side and you maintain your light, or even turn it on brighter, and stay consistent, because a lot of people, what they lack is consistency, and that unconditional love. That is what digs people out of the gutter, is that unconditional love. Not, well, you're really struggling, so I need to separate myself from you because I'm vibing higher than you, and sorry, you're shit out of luck. Get on my level, It's like, wow, spiritual ego. So I just wanted to make you mindful of those things when you start to reach places of higher consciousness, and start to be mindful of things, that you don't fall into one of these traps. Because like I said, when you have these experiences, it's so easy to get the ego involved, and the ego is a perfect chameleon in the spiritual world, where it blends and camouflages in as spiritual enlightenment, when really it's just creating levels and separation within the human race. And another thing, and if you do reach that point of nirvana and enlightenment, be mindful that you are here to experience human happenings. You are here to experience for soul growth. And when you reach that level, it is important to remember that, because you come from the divine field, and you come from the oneness of God, and you're here for a reason, and that is to experience human happenings. So when you reach a point of nirvana, and in Buddhism it's a bodhisattva, and it is somebody that reaches spiritual enlightenment, but doesn't stay in that state to help others and shine their light for others, and to guide others, so that they too can reach nirvana at some point in their soul evolution, and not just leaving somebody behind. So look into the bodhisattvas, and look into the principles behind that. And I think that's really where the true power lies, is reaching those levels of understanding of self-realization and God realization, and using that to stick a hand out for people. Not say, okay, I meditate for 10 hours a day and I'm in pure bliss, and I'm perfectly in tune with God at all time. That's what happens before you're born. That's what happens when you die. You're cheating yourself. You're cheating your soul of growth and evolution. So another thing to keep in mind. Again, my opinion, my experience, but food for thought. Let me know what you think. Just stuff that was coming to me today as I went about my day and was reading some of the stuff in some of these spiritually enlightened groups on Facebook and different social media outlets. So I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will see you guys very soon.